Breaking news alert at 4:30. Almost a dozen police officers shot, 5 killed. It is the deadliest attack on law enforcement officers since 9/11. The shooting happened during a protest over recent deadly police shootings in Minnesota and Louisiana. We know 3 suspects are in custody as of right now. A 4th suspect is dead. During a news conference this morning, investigators say a suspect told negotiators that the end is coming, quote, and more officers are going to die. By the way, these are live pictures that you're looking at right now on the scene in downtown Dallas. This is right by the El Centro College. If you're familiar with downtown Dallas, that's where this is. A very active scene, an ongoing scene that we continue to follow at this hour. Let's listen to law enforcement right now.
We believe that these suspects were positioning themselves in a way to triangulate on these officers from 2 different perches in garages in the downtown area, and planned to injure and kill as many law enforcement officers as they could.
An awful situation. Here's one picture of one of the officers that was shot and killed. The first one that we know of. He is a Dallas area rapid transit officer. He was the first to be killed in the line of duty. The other 4 officers killed were Dallas police officers. Leslie Rangel has more on this breaking news coverage from Dallas, Texas this morning.
Peaceful protests in downtown Dallas Thursday night turned violent when authorities say 2 snipers opened fire on police. People leaving the protest took cover inside a parking garage as suspects fired on police, shooting some in the back in what has been called an ambush-style attack.
I was walking, and the sniper just started shooting. Man, like all of the cops were getting shot, man. I just saw cops bending over.
At least 11 officers were shot with multiple fatalities. 1 civilian was also injured. 3 suspects were taken into police custody. 1 woman inside the parking garage where the shooting began, and 2 other suspects during a traffic stop. In the early morning hours on Friday, officers were involved in negotiations with a 4th suspect who shot at police inside a parking garage.
So we are being very careful in our tactics so that we don't injure or put any of our officers in harm's way.
Police don't yet have a motive for the shooting and are working to make sure that all suspects have been taken into custody. Mayor Mike Rawlings praised police for their actions.
To say that our police officers put their life on the line every day is no hyperbole, ladies and gentlemen.
A city on edge this morning as the investigation into the deadly shootings begins. Leslie Rangel, NBC News.
4:33 is the time here, WMC Action News 5. We have a unique perspective this morning. Our Kendall Kirkham is live in the Breaking News Center. Kendall, if you might not know, she is from Fort Worth, Texas. That's right by Dallas. And I know, Kendall, just from speaking with you, you worked and lived in downtown Dallas. This is where the shooting happened last night. And I know you have a unique perspective in some historical context.
I did, Andrew. I lived there for about 2 years. This was right where I worked and lived there. November 22nd, 1963. That was a day that lived in infamy forever in the city of Dallas when President John F. Kennedy was shot and killed there, as many of you know. Well, now, as I was waking up this morning, listening to this news from the local affiliates in Dallas, July 7th, 2016, this will now live in the same sort of infamy, a day that nobody will ever forget, especially in downtown Dallas in Dallas, Texas. Tragic, heartbreaking news this morning. I cannot tell you how I feel, just my stomach rumbling. It's just hard to comprehend what happened there overnight. We're going to show you some video now. What you're about to see is from a witness who was on the scene. Again, as you mentioned, as we're hearing, 5 officers killed, almost a dozen people in all, officers injured. In this video here, you can hear gunshots. You can even hear witnesses in the background who were at these peaceful protests just describing what they heard. Take a listen.
Somebody's really armed to the teeth. Oh my God. This is not one person with a. This is a person with.
This is in the heart of downtown Dallas. That building you see behind you with that green lighting, those green beams going up. That is, I believe, the tallest Skyscraper in downtown Dallas. That's the Bank of America building, one of the tallest skyscrapers in the entire country, right in the center of downtown. You hear those gunshots there and some witnesses talking about what they're seeing, constantly just taken aback, of course, as you could imagine. We do know 3 people were taken into custody. Another suspect is dead. That's according to the NBC affiliate in Dallas-Fort Worth, KXAS. The shooting was so bad, another witness describes the scene as what sounded like fireworks to them. Listen to this.
I was under the impression that the parade was winding down. People were walking back towards where the main area was, Belo Garden. I don't even remember what street I was on, but it was near the parking garage where I think a lot of this started. And it just sounded like fireworks at first. And, you know, the crowd in front of me started to kind of back away, and then it got a little bit louder and more kind of intermittent, like not consistent. And then people just took off and started hopping fences and stuff like that, and I just kind of went forward and not really sure. I still thought it was fireworks, actually. So we went around to where that parking garage was, and there was a guy, and I don't know if it was a kid, and he was just kind of holding him, trying to keep him calm. The police officers were about 10 feet ahead of us, just crouched behind a cop car, and that's when it really started to sound like gunfire, and it sounded like 2 different kinds of guns. I'm not sure if the police were returning fire or not. I don't know enough about guns to know what kind they were. But that went on for a while. They pushed us into that parking garage, and then people started to spill out from the stairwell to the upper levels yelling that somebody was up there with a gun, and the cops started just moving us.
Pure panic, I could imagine, downtown. That witness just described what it sounded like was near a parking garage in downtown Dallas. Now, later on in this newscast, one of the victims' fathers describes what happened to his daughter and the very latest on her condition. But, of course, we're going to keep following this. And such an emotional day for a lot of people in downtown Dallas. And as you saw from that chopper shot from above, it's such a busy area. So that area today is going to be mostly closed down. What we're hearing, a lot of federal government buildings have already confirmed they are not going to be open today. So a lot of people, they've been told if they don't have to go to work today, if they work downtown, to stay home. Andrew.
All right, Kendall, thank you for that unique perspective. We'll be keeping in touch with Kendall and getting that unique perspective that you're not going to find anywhere else at any other Memphis TV station because of her connections down to Fort Worth and the Dallas area. With this breaking news, we took time to look into the right to carry laws in Texas. You can openly carry a handgun in a hip or shoulder holster if you have a concealed handgun license, but you have to be at least 21. You also have to have a clean criminal and a clean psychological record, and you have to complete classroom training and pass a shooting test. Areas that are considered gun-free zones are places like schools, polling places, courtrooms, secured areas of airports. Both Dallas and Fort Worth do not allow handguns at city council meetings or other governmental meetings. Also, handguns are not allowed at high school, college, or professional sporting events on city property. Businesses actually can choose whether to ban handguns or not, but they have to have signs posted for that reason. Now, our team here at WMC Action News 5 has been following this story throughout the overnight hours, all morning long. We have a dedicated team, a dedicated staff that's working round the clock for you to give you the most complete, in-depth coverage on WMC Action News 5 and online at WMCActionNews5.com. We will have continuing coverage on the shootings in Dallas throughout this newscast and all morning long. You can even get caught up on our website. You can head there right now, and they'll have the latest information for you. Again, that website address, WMCActionNews5.com.
Well, we're starting the morning off on a warm note across the Mid-South. We're at 82 degrees here in Memphis, 79 in Blytheville, 77 Bolivar, 76 in Corinth, mid to upper 70s in most areas, outlying areas at least outside of Memphis. 91 today at noon, 96 again at 4. So again, very much like yesterday, a mix of sun and clouds, maybe a slight chance of a shower or storm late in the day, mainly in northeast Arkansas and northwest Tennessee. It will be a little breezy at times as well. I'll talk more about your weekend forecast, and we have some rain chances out there. I'll show you which day has the highest chance. In the meantime, let's get a check on the roads this morning with Janeen Gordon.
For any of you who are early commuters, I just want to let you know that traffic is looking very good on the interstates. Here's a live look with our TDOT SmartWay camera. This is over in West Memphis. It's I-55 south of Mound City. So this is going to be northbound traffic and southbound traffic. Looks good there. Please be careful as you head out the door.
All right, still to come at 4:39, more continuing coverage of breaking news out of Dallas, Texas. 5 officers killed in the line of duty, 6 other officers hurt during what was supposed to be a peaceful protest of recent deadly police shootings. This protest was occurring in downtown Dallas. That's when various suspects opened fire on police. Again, 5 dead, 6 injured. We're going to update you on what the president said just a few minutes ago about this shooting. He's in Poland right now. We will have more in-depth team coverage minutes away.
And we're looking at radar. Not much on there right now, but that may change as we go into tonight and especially this weekend. I'll show you who has the best chance for a shower or thunderstorm coming up. You're watching WMC Action News 5 this morning.